shut this down so it's not making too much noise. Welcome to what I'm going to call the first of my Fireside chats, which really has no fire to be beside, but I couldn't think of anything else for what I'm going to make some of these segments. I've done unboxings, I've done guitar demos and stuff, but I'm short on new guitars, so we're trying to figure out what to do. In the meantime, before I get to doing mods on the guitars and recording that or doing any other content, I figured if I had stuff like tonight, where I've got a bunch of stuff that just wouldn't make up a whole video, so I thought, let's throw it together, we'll call it a Fireside Chat, cover a few different things. I can use these segments to ask you guys questions if I have questions about things, and we'll get to that later once I go through some of this stuff. But to start things out, I have a gigantic mess on my desk right now because I had to figure out a way to get the Spark sounds to record out to you, because Will Red, one of our community members, good guy, and you should check out his channel, which I'll link below, reached out to me to let me know that he had some tones that he's put out on the Spark Cloud, which, if you're not familiar with, just any Spark amp allows you to go out to the Spark Cloud on the amp and get backing tracks, different tones that you can type in. There's even an AI tone generator. Well, Will made some of his own tones, uploaded them to the cloud, and they are listed under his W.F.R.31. Search that and you'll find his stuff. But he reached out to me to let me know that he made a patch called CDBlues because he knows I like the blues. So I've been having a lot of fun with it, and that's what you just heard was the patch that he created against one of the backing tracks that I looked up in the app. So I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I wanted to give Will his flowers and thank you, because that's been having a lot of fun with it. It's just a great stress reliever to come home and play some blues. I will link to his channel. The next thing I was going to get to, I've just, besides just a simple unboxing, I thought I'd shout out some other folks that have inspired stuff or show off stuff that I've bought recently that just wouldn't make a long enough unboxing video. So next shout out is going to go to Chris over at BCG5150. You should also check out his channel. I've been inclined to buy a few different products as I'm getting my tool chest set for when I start modding stuff. One of those would be the spray away glass cleaner, ammonia free, because you can use that for a variety of things with cleaning up parts for your guitars, cleaning up finishes on your guitars. It's not going to damage it because it's got no ammonia in it. I know that he's talked to Ted over at Ted Talks Guitars. They've used it for wet sanding because it's a good liquid to use for that, I guess. I can't think of the right phrase for that. So that's one thing. The other thing, when I was looking for, I happened to be looking for how I could lube up tuners and stuff, and it just so happened that Chris put out a video and mentioned marine grease. So I got Lubermatic marine grease in this big tube, which is generally for a bracket, a gun that you can squeeze it through. So I'm probably going to squeeze this out into a container so I can use it to lube up tuners. So thank you, Chris, for that. I've got a few less things on my list of things to get. One of the next things I did get for myself was just off of an eBay auction. I got myself a multimeter off of Temu a while back, and I'm not very good with the leads just touching the guitar cords, so I just went out looking on eBay and found this from a seller. You got the 1/4-inch jack on one end and the leads to plug into your multimeter. Makes it a lot easier to read, get readings for output from pickups when they're installed in guitars. When they're not installed, if you want to test a pickup beforehand, you're going to have to use the leads or with alligator clamps. But anyways, the eBay seller, I'll link to this item down below in the description of the video as well. I think you can probably get them for less, but I paid $15 plus shipping to get it here. The seller was fantastic because initially he thought the post office had lost the package because the tracking was going nowhere and it took way longer. He's actually in the same state as I am, Wisconsin, so it took well over a week to get here. We have no idea what the post office did. In the meantime, when we thought it was lost, the seller graciously sent out another package with a new tracking number. The day after he gave me that tracking number, this arrived, and then the second one arrived. So I reached out to him and said, hey, I got both of them. I'm going to send you the one back just because that's not fair to you. And he was very communicative all the way through. So if you feel like you're in the need for something like this, the link below will get you what you're looking for. And then that brings me to some of the unboxings that I was going to do, because I was going to do another Temu unboxing thing, but there wasn't that much to it, and this was also an accident. A cautionary tale about Temu. When I was just looking through the offers that they sent via text or email, I forget which one this was, and pick 3 things and order so much, and then you'll get coupons or whatever. Well, I added the 3 things. I wanted to see how little I could get and still meet the requirements. I added the 3 things I wanted to, and normally it just had, okay, check out them. It didn't say go to cart. That's on me. Normally when you hit checkout for an order, it's going to take you to the cart so you can verify your payment and everything. Nope, it went straight through and charged my PayPal. And I saw it go through. I was thinking about just canceling it, but I thought, you know what? This is stuff I'm going to need eventually anyways. So we'll do a mini unboxing here for some of this stuff. This one I've seen in use on various channels or similar items to it, and I thought for the cost of almost nothing on Temu, this was worth taking a shot on. Basically just a peg winder that you can use with a drill, or in my case I've got a little rechargeable screwdriver which will work just fine. Sorry for the light. And this is also part of my toolkit for the guitars because it's not as fast or as powerful as a drill, not as heavy, so I'm not as likely to slip with it. That being said, there's a lot of things you can do on the guitar when you're screwing stuff in. You don't want to go too tight, so it's better to use a hand screwdriver to make things snug. Alright, next thing up on the list that I thought, why not? Let's get this, because I had projects planned for various guitars. And which way are we opening? Alright. So, comment in the questions. Do you guys think I should stick with this, or should I get a gigantic knife like Sean at Starred My Guitar uses? Knowing my track record with cutting myself, that's probably not a great idea. So, the next thing I got, and I'm hoping these are going to work. If not, then they're going to be put to use for some other kind of project, was tiny little momentary switches, which I kind of want to turn. Whoop, there's a hole in the bag. There's a snake in my boot. They come in various colors, so I've got a whole ton of these. What I'm going to use the rest of them for, I don't know, but let me find it. Here's the one I really wanted out of the bunch. Was a handy little green button, which I will have to reach out to folks on the Discord. I'm thinking it's just a simple wiring with those contacts there to put it in, but with my green tease telly back there, after I get done comparing the 3 of them in a future video, I want to, just for something different, because I've got on the red one, I've got the coil split. My standard Rondo telly, or Hating, back there is a standard telly, which I'm probably going to put a standard bridge on with barrel things. So to make the green one different, I thought, you know what? We can put a hole right where that switch would go for coil splitting, and put in a kill switch right on the control plate. I thought that would be kind of different. So we've got that, and I'm going to have to get a new baggie for these guys, or they're going to be all over the drawer. And then finally, that brings me to yet another topic. I'm going to have to clean up everything when I'm done here. I did the demo on the Frankster pedal, and I've been talking about how I want to build just kind of a small pedal board with some of the basics on it. And I knew one of the things I was going to need was a noise gate. So I've got a tiny little mini noise gate pedal. So that leads me to one question as far as what else do I need for a pedal board? I've got the distortion pedal. I have the noise gate now. That's Velcroed on. I also have a Lakato loop stage, which has a built-in tuner, but it's not great. But the looping thing is kind of cool because I've been wanting to do something with looping. I don't have anything with built-in capabilities for that. The Spark doesn't support that without... You can hook a looper up to it, but every sound that goes through it is going to be the same. You can't do a different patch for the backing track unless you get a special pedal, or I know they've there's been channels that have done them for different pedals that are made for devices like the Spark, but I thought having an analog pedal board would be kind of cool. So I know I've got the distortion, noise gate, looper. I'm thinking I need to get compression at least. I have my eyes on multi modulation pedal, which I'll put up a picture of it when I'm done here editing things, just so you can see. Just a cheap Amazon pedal. I'm not looking for super boutique or expensive pedals because I want this to be affordable and just fun to play with. I also don't have the budget to spend $100 to $200 on each pedal to build this out. The modulation pedal that I was talking about would have chorus on it because I do have this, but this is a full-size pedal, and it also operates on a different power supply than a standard pedal board power supply would run. So I'm trying to keep this as compact as possible. So I figured the mini pedals would give me more room. So compressor, multi-modulation pedal, and then I'm thinking some combination reverb delay or separate reverb delay. And then the one thing I do want to spend up on is probably going to be an actual good tuner pedal, probably something like a mid-range TC. The Polytune seems to be a decent bang for your buck option for a small pedal board. If anybody has any other suggestions for what I might need on the pedal board, that'd be great, because that's going to be a future series of videos, is me putting that together and figuring out what the hell to do with regular pedals. Because when you look at the Spark here, that's the easy button. You've already got patches that you can download. You can talk into the AI and say, hey, I want to sound like Gilmore, and it gives you several patches to choose from that are come close to the mark. And you can look in the settings on the app at what it's using, but it doesn't really. I'm more of a tactile learner. I need to get in there and fiddle with the knobs and understand how things work. That being said, I'm going to have to look up a whole bunch of info on signal chain too, about what goes first and what goes last. I'm assuming the looper would be last because you want to have your sounds going through that. Anyhow, that covers just about everything. As far as what else this is going to be for, stuff coming up on the channel. Like I said, I've got another video. Technically my guitars, it's not guitars, it's just the rest of the stringed instruments I have that I don't even necessarily know how to play very well, but I wanted to show them off and then maybe get some ideas on where I could what I could do to do with that stuff and try and learn it. For instance, the banjo, trying to figure out the best way to learn how to play that. I've looked at a couple different channels. I'll go over that in a separate video at some point in the future too, just for different kinds of content. I live near Waukesha, Wisconsin, which is the birthplace of Les Paul. And we have Waukesha Historical Society, which has a Les Paul exhibit, which I've always wanted to go to. It's not expensive, and I think that's probably sometime over the holidays later this month or into December. We might take a trip over there, and then depending on what their policy is, so no guarantees that I'll be able to post anything about it, but if they don't have any policies about walking around with a selfie stick, taking some video, and just doing a little commentary over what we're seeing in the museum, I thought that might be interesting for folks that don't live in the area that might want to see what we've got around here for that. Might do some driving footage around Waukesha too, because recently they put up a bunch of giant-sized Les Pauls around the city, and it's kind of cool. So I think that covers everything. I got over the unboxing, I got over what's coming up, and just kind of explained what these Fireless side chats are going to be. Just when I have something on my mind, I don't think I'm up on enough things news-wise to speak about current events in the guitar world or new releases, or there's plenty of other guys that do that stuff better than me. Maybe at a point when I get more into this and have ideas and can do a topic video, I'll do that. I don't think that's my jam right now, but that would be something that would fall under this category as well. Just something out of the ordinary. That's where everything will fall into the Fireside Chats. If I get a lot of stuff, or obviously get a new guitar, or a bigger set of new gear, then that'll have its own unboxing video, because it'll be long enough. I'm just not big into doing 1,000 different shorts for something that's only going to take me a couple minutes to do. So thanks for hanging out for the chat. I will put the links down below to anything that I think is relevant in the description, including shout outs to everybody, including Will, Chris at BCG. And yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out. I hope to see you again this weekend when I will get back on track with recording more of my weekend videos. That's true. My schedule, at least for the short term, I'm going to try and put out something every Sunday evening, usually around 6:30 Central Time, because that doesn't get in the way of anybody's live streams that night. And it seems to be just a good spot to pick to drop something. And then usually I'll try and do this kind of stuff, whether it's an unboxing or something shorter, midweek, usually Wednesdays, probably midday. So, all right, until next time. Thanks, guys.